Hello everyone. So for this video, I want to talk about something important about Down syndrome that I feel that people need to know. I'm going to make this kind of short and sweet and to the best that I can do this. So short, sweet, simple, and also really good. So here we go. This is some fun facts to know about Down syndrome, just for people to know. So first thing is misinterpreted means to explain wrongly, to understand in the wrong way. That's why it's important to say something and to speak up and say, I am sorry, I am not understanding. Can you please rephrase that or say that again because I don't understand? Because the way how we process, sometimes it may take a little bit longer, and sometimes when we're processing things, it may not go that fast because everyone goes at their own speed, and some people understand either in a slow way, which I would say people with Down syndrome, we do understand, but it may not be as quick as other people. That's why it's important that when you're talking to someone, especially people that do have Down syndrome and like myself, that it's important to make sense just so that we get and understand what you are saying, because sometimes I misinterpret things and I don't get it. So that's why I speak up and I say something just so I understand what people are saying, and that's how I understand. Here's the next thing. Assumptions and assume. I'm gonna read you this definition, and then I'm gonna read something to you guys about assuming things. So the definition means that you think people, let's say, you think people with Down syndrome are not smart enough to understand what we are talking about. So let me continue on. If someone with Down syndrome observes and hears what you are saying, they will go to people and tell them that someone is talking about something that wasn't nice about someone. So then after someone with Down syndrome hears that, they may go to someone, let's say in a family, or a relative or a cousin, or maybe someone within their family. Once they go to those people, that person, let's say this person has Down syndrome, and they go to the family members, one of those family members would go to the people that were not being nice, and this is what they would say. That they were not being nice, and to please be careful with your words, because sometimes people that have Down syndrome, they may hear what you're saying and it might hurt their feelings. So please be careful with your words. I know I already kind of said that once, but sometimes when you say something and you think that people with Down syndrome are not smart enough to hear what you're saying, but once those family members or someone that hears from, let's say, a child or someone with Down syndrome goes to the family members like I talked about, and those family members go to those people that are not being nice, what happens is once those family members find out that someone is not being nice about their niece or their nephew or their child or something that happens to have Down syndrome, and if those family or relatives go to those people that are not being nice, they may say my son or my daughter heard what you said that wasn't very nice, and that, they felt hurt. But let's say those people that were not being nice, they don't know that that person with Down syndrome was really that smart to hear what they were saying. So that's why you want to be careful with your words, and especially when you are around people with special needs and how they process and hear what you are talking about. And it's very important that you don't just assume that they're not going to be smart, or that that they can't hear you, because they have a mind, they can hear what you're saying. So don't assume that people with special needs or Down syndrome are not smart, because if we hear what you're saying, we may go to other people and tell them that someone's not being very nice. But you know what? Like I said, when those people go to the people that are not being very nice, they will finally recognize that they are actually very smart and intelligent people. And they will recognize that after someone goes to those people that were not being nice and telling them that, oh, my niece, my nephew, my child with Down syndrome heard what you said, that wasn't very nice. And that, you know, first off, why would you assume that they were not smart or something? Like, first off, like, it's just wrong. And I know that sounds like a lot, but it's really, really important. Don't assume that we are not smart, because we are. And first off, it's not very nice, and that can be called bullying. So yes, number one, like I said, just treat people with kindness and talk to people. And, you know, maybe you can ask that person, let's say that person has Down syndrome, you could ask them, like, I'm sorry, but did you hear what we were talking about? Instead of just assuming that they were not smart, you can maybe go up to them and say, I'm sorry, did you hear, you know, our conversation? And if they did, they would say something. But if they don't and they just hear that, they may think that they are not smart. So just, like I said, be careful and cautious, you know, saying things around people that can really hear you. That's what I have to say. Okay, so the next thing is, people with Down syndrome, they use positive self-talk, and they may do that for, you know, how long that they want to, because it helps them to understand things that are maybe complicated. Let's say you're talking about economy, or talking about, you know, let's say politicians, or talking about because, you know, like family members, they may talk about things that you're not really understanding a lot about, like philosophy, economy, talking about the world, and things like that. And sometimes that kind of stuff can be very complicated. And sometimes, let me kind of continue to read this. And they also use self-talk for problem solving, to understand what people are saying, because if they don't understand, they will find a way for themselves to understand in their own ways. So if you're talking about something that they don't understand, like people with Down syndrome or special needs, if they don't get what you're talking about, they may talk about it with themselves. But it's very important that you do not use negative self-talk to talk to yourself through about what other people are talking about. And don't do it negatively, because that can bring you down and make you sad, and you don't want to be sad all day about what someone said. So if you're going to use self-talk, do it in a positive way to help yourself through it, and that's part of problem solving, to get through it. And to the other thing is overcome challenges. When things come up, just, you know, how you get through it, and that you just do it in a positive way. And another thing, and a fun fact, people with Down syndrome seem to enjoy retelling stories and fantasies, and have imaginary friends, because it helps them to not be too worried or stressed or overwhelmed, because sometimes we do get overwhelmed, just with all the, you know, I would say normal feelings that we have. And there's a lot, and a lot usually means overwhelmed. So that's how they calm themselves, and relaxing for them, just to say, like, you know, just take a breather, you know. And they kind of like help themselves to see things in a different way, or a different perspective, but in a way that's not too complicated, or not too hard to understand that. They find a way for them to understand, but they do it in their own unique ways to understand what you're saying. Like I said, if it's complicated, they will find a way to make it just so it's not that complicated. And then, like I said, that's more relaxing for them. The last thing is, people with Down syndrome, they do have a groove, which is like a routine that they follow, and sometimes they use pictures instead of always words, just so it's not so complex and complicated. So like here are some examples: getting dressed and ready to start the day. They can understand words, like simple words like that, like get dressed, get ready for the day, or make your bed and clean your room, now it's time to go to work. And then those are things that they can understand, and then they just do it, and then they go to work. For people that are highly articulate, I would say, they can follow a routine without having that structure layout of their day, that they can just do it with their smart minds. Like, because they are so smart, they can just like simply make their bed and get ready for the day without having it written down or with pictures, just so it's not that complicated. But let me just tell you guys that the way how people with Down syndrome think is very different. But let me tell you this. I'm a very smart person, and I do not underestimate myself, and I know that I am smart, and it's so important for people to know that even though we do have Down syndrome, it doesn't mean that that we're not smart, or that sorry, I can't think of like other things, but I know that we are people first, and we are not labeled or defined by Down syndrome, that we are just people, and that you respect us and be kind and be nice to us all. And that is it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. That is everything to know for today, and peace out. Hello everyone, so today I want to talk about what I learned in Gigi U, and I'm just going to do one thing at a time. Let me start with this. Let's talk about self-care and how to treat yourself right and to fit in the right clothes. Now let me tell you this, I am confident in my own body, and when I'm wearing clothes, like I fit so good in my clothes. Like, let me tell you, I lost almost 13 pounds, and it probably took an entire year for me to lose that many pounds. But let me just tell you, it does not matter what number that you are at on the number scale or the weight scale, you know, like even if you're at like, let's say 115 or 120 or 110, you know, those numbers, like sometimes you think that they matter, but guess what? All that matters is that you know that you are doing awesome. So don't always think about those numbers all the time. Just, you know, every so often it's okay, but like every so often, like what I mean by that is like, don't do it like all the time, because like I said, numbers don't always matter, because what matters the most is that you know that you are taking like really good care of yourself. And like I said, that's all that really matters. And so like I'm eating healthy, I'm exercising, I'm working out, I'm lifting a little bit, which by the way, I am being careful about lifting. I just do, you know, just the right amount for me, and that's how I'm staying healthy. And part of nutrition, like reading labels and portion sizes, not having too much, and also when it comes to like sugary drinks, like sometimes like pop or lemonade or peach tea, like I sometimes maybe have a small little glass, but I've been trying to drink like more water, and so I do that kind of throughout my day. So I'll drink water first. In the morning, I do let myself have a little sip of juice. But then, like, during the day, like I said, I drink water. Then at night, then I am just drinking water. But if I'm getting tired of water, because I've been drinking it for most of the day, then I will have a little sip of lemonade or peach tea. But let me just say, to be careful with how much sugary drinks that you put into your body, because you don't know what your body is feeling from the inside, but on the outside is kind of what's important, because when you look at yourself in the mirror and you see, you know, like your body size, like you don't want to be like Humongo, but you really want to think about what your heart and what your body wants for you, and to take good care of that. And it's self-advocacy, to speak up and to have a voice and be confident with your voice. And then as you grow up and become an adult, sometimes you have to, you know, have a strong and have a firm voice, and which I am doing pretty good at that, because this might seem funny, but I am kind of a woman, and like I'm 24, I'm probably like 6 years until I'm 30, and that's when you can call yourself a woman. But you know what, I know that I'm only 6 years till 30, but you know what, I can still call myself a woman on a mission to make a difference in the world. And to make that difference in the world, you have to do what's right for you, to take good care of yourself in your heart too. And then in safety, which is like watching for cars in the street. Like today I was going on a walk. I told myself that when all the cars are gone and not in the street, then you can walk, even if there's not a sign, but you know the cars are gone. You have to make for sure. And so, you know, that's why I use I use positive self-talk, and I say like, okay, the cars are gone, there's no cars, then I know I can cross. And then I just kind of like walk across, and then like on my way back from my walk, then I saw some cars and I stopped, and there was a car that wasn't going that fast, and it looked like it was gonna let me go, so I just went, because that's what my mom taught me with safety. If you see a car and that car is looking at you crossing the street and the car wants you to go, then you just go when they tell you to. You can't just go when they're driving in the street, because first off, that's not safe at all. So always watch for the signs, or if there is a car in the street and they tell you to go, just go. Don't wait on them or tell them to go first before you go. You just go when the car and the people in the car tell you to, then you can go. That's safety that I've learned. I know, hopefully that's not too complicated, but I have learned from the best, from my parents, how to keep myself safe in the streets and that stuff. And I'm pretty good about being independent and trying to do things on my own, but it's okay to ask for help, and which I always do, just so I don't hurt myself, because that's another part of safety, is not hurting yourself. So being careful, like let's say you're cutting an apple, you don't want to accidentally cut your fingers, like that's another part of safety. Yeah, let me just say that I don't want to tell you if I did or did not, you know, accidentally cut myself, but let me tell you this. One time I was cutting my pizza and I didn't see like where my fingers were, and I was just slicing the pizza and I noticed something on my finger, and I was like, uh-oh, that's not good, because I think the pizza had tinfoil, because we like ordered out to eat, and the tinfoil kind of cut my finger. But that's the only like little thing I'm gonna tell you guys. But it wasn't like a big cut, like it was just like really tiny, but we bandaged it and it was all good, so no worries. That I took good care of myself, and and that's all. In career skills, I have done my resume, and lots of people see my resume, and let me tell you this, Miss.Mary Jo helped me get a job at the Deer Park movie theater, and I got hired, and I was doing so good, and I love my breaks because I got free popcorn and free soda. But you know what, this is what I want to tell you guys. I have not had pop or soda in a long time, except for last night, because I went 6 days with no pop for an entire week. Actually, not the entire week, but I went like 6 days, because in a week there's 7 days, but I went 6 days with no pop. Now my parents, they were like so proud of me, and I knew, like, I didn't assume that they knew that I was doing good. Like, I didn't assume that they were just gonna let me get pop. Like they saw my hard work and my dedication to not having pop for a whole week. And so when they saw that, like, all the good improvements, that's what showed them that I was able to have a pop. So you have to, have hard work and dedication, and stay committed to what you do to take good care of yourself. And maybe after like a week or a month or something, and if your parents or family members see how well that you're doing, maybe they will let you have a little treat, because they see your improvements, and that's what that's all about. And that's another part of staying healthy with yourself. And then this is the very, very last thing that I want to tell you guys. So you need to love yourself, accept yourself. You need to inspire yourself, educate yourself, be smart, be kind. Do all those things for yourself to be that better person. It starts with you, to be Generation G, because you know what? That is a part of me. Yeah, that's what I want to be. Yeah. So that is all for you guys. So yes, love yourself. Like I said, accept yourself, because you never know if someone may not accept you, or if they will or will not, which I already said that once. But let me just say, if you can do that, amen. So peace out.